Begin the month of February with hot Florida Gators basketball Saturday afternoon here on WAMT. The Gators are on a defensive tear as they prepare to match hoops with Kentucky. Pre-game show begins at 12:30 p.m. with tip-off at 1. For a great way to begin February this week, tune in and practice your slam dunks with the Gators as they take on Kentucky Saturday here on your Florida Gators station, WAMT, 1060 AM.
Join us for our Words Eye View description. You might hear swisheroo.
Delta II is set to launch the NASA NEAR spacecraft. KSC Up to the Minute, I'm Tyler Atkeison. The space voyage of a NASA satellite to rendezvous with an asteroid begins on February 16th aboard a McDonnell Douglas Delta II launch vehicle at Cape Canaveral Air Station. The launch window is 1 minute in duration and opens up at 3:53 and 06 seconds in the afternoon, this Friday afternoon. Now, the launch window has the flexibility of opening 1 minute earlier on launch day if collision avoidance or other countdown circumstances dictate. Now, the Near-Earth Asteroid Rendezvous Satellite, or NEAR, will be placed into an orbit that will take it into the asteroid belt, back to Earth for a gravity boost, and then out to the 25-mile-long asteroid Eros. The Near-Earth Asteroid Rendezvous Satellite will be the first spacecraft to orbit an asteroid. Now, asteroids are numerous in small bodies between the Mars and Jupiter planets, with diameters ranging from a fraction of a mile to nearly 600 miles. Now, here's NASA mission manager for the NEAR spacecraft, Bob Folkwar, to discuss the satellite and the mission of NEAR.
This is the first planetary launch for the Delta launch vehicle. Beginning with the launch February 96, and about 1 year later, we reach our furthest point from the sun. And we're going to be going out quite a bit further than any other solar-powered spacecraft has gone before. Up to now, nothing has operated beyond Mars orbit. We're actually going 50 million miles further, and we're going to operate with a spacecraft powered by only solar cells. Right after the aphelion, we have our first major event, which is going to be a flyby of the main belt asteroid 253 Matilda. Right after that, we don't have time to catch our breath even, and we have to fire the very large thruster to retarget the spacecraft to come back to the Earth again, where it will come back in January of 1998. At that time, we will use the gravity of the Earth then to send it out, to change the orbit drastically, to send it out to Eros, where it will get in close around January 9th of 1999. Then we'll begin a gradual slowdown, firing this thruster right here, this very large thruster on the side of the spacecraft, to slow it down, and we ultimately then do our first flyby on February 6, 1999.
And again, that's NEAR mission manager Bob Folkwar discussing the project in the launch phase itself once it's left Earth. Now, just once again, the NEAR spacecraft will be launched aboard a Delta II this Friday at 3:53 p.m. And as always, WAMT 1060 and I will be bringing you live coverage right here. So stay tuned. We'll start our coverage during the 2 o'clock hour and bring you updates as accordingly and keep you updated on the very latest. So take us along if you're going out to Jetty Park or Cape Canaveral Air Station to view the launch. It's going to be an afternoon launch. It's going to be a beautiful day, so we're looking forward to it, and we'll keep you updated. Remember, live coverage here on WAMT starting during the 2 o'clock hour this Friday afternoon. And let's see, let's do an update real quick and check in on how things are going with the Space Shuttle Orbiter and the launch of Space Shuttle Columbia. Again, you know, launch of Columbia is set for next Thursday. Launch is set for February 22nd at 3:18 p.m. in the afternoon. There's a 2.5-hour window to get STS-75 off the pad. Here's NASA KSC spokesman George Diller to update us on the preparations for Columbia.
Work to get Columbia ready for launch next week has been going fairly well. We finished up loading the storable propellants over the weekend. Our next activity is on tethered satellite, where we'll be topping off the consumables the tethered satellite will use in orbit, some of the cooling and gases and that kind of thing. That'll be done on Wednesday, just prior to closing the payload bay doors.
Now, George, how is work going along to troubleshoot the problem with Columbia's door, its hatch? How is that going?
We're doing some minor troubleshooting on the crew hatch. That door is not giving us an indication that it's closed. It appears to be a problem with a small switch called a micro switch. So we're troubleshooting that today. But other than that, things are going well, and we're getting into the closeout for the aft main engine compartment. So right now we're still pressing on toward a launch on February 22nd at 3:18 in the afternoon.
And finally, George, can you tell us a little bit about the NEAR mission and how launch processing is going?
The Delta Near mission is on schedule for launch this week on Friday, and on Wednesday we'll load the second stage with its complement of storable propellants, and at that point we'll be ready to get into the final countdown. We'll pull the tower back on Friday at about 8:30 in the morning, and that'll take us up to our 1-minute launch window at 3:53 in the afternoon.
Okay, and thank you, George. George Diller at NASA KSC Public Affairs, updating us on both the Columbia launch and the NASA Near launch, which is set for this Friday afternoon. And again, WAMT 1060 will be bringing you live coverage, so stay tuned. If you're going out to Jetty Park, tune us into the Big 1060, and we'll bring you updates right here, and I'll make sure of that, okay? I'm Ty Atkeison, and this has been KSC Up to the Minute. Tune in weekdays at 7:15 a.m. and 3:45 p.m., and we'll keep you updated on the very latest on both launch news and what's going on in space, right here on your home for launch news and space news, WAMT 1060 a.m.
Thank you, Ty. It's time to get made up and pretend, even though it's not Halloween.